Let me tell you something, my friend. If you train your mind the way millionaires do, you'll start solving problems instead of running from them. You'll start creating wealth instead of chasing it. You'll stop waiting and start becoming. You see, the real battlefield is not your bank account. It's not the market. It's not what people say. The battlefield is your mind. And if you don't take charge of it, someone else will. And most people, they don't train their mind. They just let it wander. They let it react. They let it shrink. But millionaires, they build their minds like warriors prepare for battle. Every day. With precision. With patience. With purpose. Let's begin. I used to think money was the answer. I thought if I just worked a little harder, clocked a few more hours, I'd make it. But I learned something powerful. And I want to share it with you. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. You don't become a millionaire with just your hands. You do it with your mind. Because everything starts as a thought, a vision, an idea. The world around you, that phone, that car, that business, it all started as a thought in someone's mind. So if you want to change your income, change your thoughts. If you want to change your results, change your beliefs. Because if your mind is poured, your actions will follow. And so will your results. Now, I want you to reflect for a moment. How big do you think? Not about others, about yourself. You see, most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. They're afraid to think big, afraid to ask for more, afraid to believe they deserve it. But millionaires, they train themselves to think bigger, to think better, to think longer term. They don't just ask, how can I survive this month? They ask, how can I build a legacy that outlives me? You've got to stretch your mind, or you'll stay stuck in the same financial neighborhood. And stretching your mind means believing you can do more, be more, earn more, and give more. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about wishful thinking. This isn't just about affirmations and happy thoughts. It's about discipline, mental discipline. And that means doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And every millionaire I've met, they built that bridge with discipline. They didn't wait for motivation. They trained their mind daily. They wrote. They planned. They reviewed. They reflected. They worked on their attitude. They worked on their language. They worked on their focus. And here's the secret. It's not hard to do, but it's easy not to do. It's easy to skip the book today. Easy to avoid the journal. Easy to say, I'll think about goals tomorrow. And that's how people drift into mediocrity, into regret. But not you. You've heard this now. And once you hear the truth, you can't go back. So maybe you haven't trained your mind yet. Maybe you've let it run wild. Let fear drive. Let doubt take the wheel. That's okay. The key is not to beat yourself up. The key is to wake up. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. And that's what today is. A change in direction. It's time to take back control of your thoughts. Time to guide your mind like a captain guides a ship. Start with awareness. Catch your negative thoughts. Challenge them. Replace them. Catch your small thinking. Stretch it. Grow it. Because once your mind expands, it never returns to its original size. So remember this. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Because the more powerful your mind becomes, the easier everything else gets. Earning becomes easier. Solving problems becomes easier. Leading people becomes easier. Train your mind and life will obey. Let's keep going. Let's go deeper. Next, I'll show you exactly how millionaires condition their thinking. Daily habits, routines, and mental rituals that you can start using right away. Because success is not something you pursue, it's something you attract by the person you become. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Let me repeat that slowly. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. That, my friend, is the cornerstone of the millionaire mind. It's not about giant leaps. It's about small, consistent steps. Day in, day out. You see, you don't suddenly become wealthy. You become deserving of wealth what you do every day. What you read, what you focus on, what you practice. And that's the secret. Habits, not hype. Discipline, not drama. If you can master your habits, you can master your mind. And if you master your mind, there's nothing you can't achieve. Let's start with the beginning. The morning. And millionaires don't wake up by accident. They rise with intention. They rise with structure. They rise with a plan. Either you run the day or the day runs you. And the morning is where it all begins. Not with your phone, not with scrolling, not with reacting, but with reflection, stillness, clarity. You see, your morning tells your mind, I'm in charge. I lead. I don't follow. And when you start your day right, your mind follows your lead. Now let me give you 3 habits that transformed my life, and every millionaire I've ever met has them. 1. Read. Miss a meal if you have to, but don't miss your reading. You feed your body every day. Why not your mind? Read something that lifts you, challenges you, educates you. It doesn't have to be long. 10 pages a day can change everything. 10 pages a day becomes 3,650 pages a year. That's not just reading, that's reprogrammation. 2. Write. Millionaires keep journals, not just notes, journals. They think on paper, they plan, they process their thoughts. They write down lessons. You see, when you write, you slow your mind. You make it visible, controllable, trainable. Write your goals, write your gratitude, write your progress. Because success isn't just out there, it's something you track. 3. Reflect. Every day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow today? What can I do better tomorrow? That's how you train your mind. Not with perfection, but with awareness. You don't need to do everything at once. Start with 1. Master it, then build on that. Because here's the truth. What's easy to dog is also easy not to do. It's easy to skip the book, easy to forget the journal, easy to go to bed without thinking about the day. But that's how people miss their future. Not in one big moment, but in small decisions day after day. And here's the beautiful part, you can reverse that by deciding today to build millionaire habits. 1 page, 1 note, 1 reflection at a time. Let me tell you something most people never learn. Millionaires don't just respond to life. They create life. They don't wake up hoping the day goes well. They decide how the day will go. And they build habits that support that vision. Don't start the day until you've finished it on paper. Have goals. Have priorities. Even if you don't stick to it perfectly, your mind will know. You are serious. You are not drifting. You are leading. And leaders, they attract wealth, not just money, but opportunities, ideas, people. When your habits are clear, your mind becomes clear. And when your mind is clear, you stop chasing. You start attracting. Success is not about being busy. It's about being aligned with your vision, with your values, with your habits. Train your mind by shaping your routines. That's how you become the kind of person who doesn't just wish for success, but expects it. So here's the big takeaway. You don't need to do something spectacular today. You just need to start doing the right things consistently. We all must suffer one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Choose discipline. Choose habits. Choose the daily process that makes you mentally rich before you're ever financially rich. Next, we'll dive into something critical. How to protect your mind from negativity. Because you can't build a strong mind if you're letting toxic voices inside. We'll talk about guarding your thoughts, filtering your environment, and building an inner circle that supports your dreams. Remember, you can train your body once a day, but your mind, that needs training all day long. Let's move forward. You're becoming someone new. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Let me pause right there. Let that sink in. Stand guard like a watchman, like a sentinel, like someone who cares deeply about what gets in. Because here's the truth. Your mind is your most valuable asset, not your bank account, not your car, not your job. Your mind is where wealth begins, where confidence is born, where success is decided. But here's the danger. Your mind is also vulnerable to doubt, to fear, to gossip, to distraction. And unless you stand guard, negativity will sneak in, and it doesn't ask for permission. Negativity rarely shows up in big, bold letters. It whispers. It disguises itself. It wears the mask of humor, sarcasm, or realism. It says things like, "Be realistic." People like us can't do that. That's not how the world works. It's in the news, the conversations, the scrolling, the complaining. And if you're not careful, you'll start repeating it. You'll start believing it. And the moment that happens, you limit your life, not because of facts, but because of input. Think of it like this: your mind is a garden. You're either planting seeds of strength or letting weeds of weakness grow. Every day you must weed the garden. If you don't pull the weeds, they don't stay still. They spread. Negativity multiplies in an unguarded mind. Fear grows. Doubt takes root. Excuses flourish. So how do you fight back? By choosing what you allow in, by standing guard. Now listen closely. This part is critical. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You might say, "Jim, I don't believe that." Well, it doesn't matter. It's still true. Spend time with pessimists, you'll start doubting everything. Spend time with complainers, you'll start blaming everything. Spend time with people who talk small, you'll think small. But spend time with people who dream big, who act boldly, who speak possibility, and you'll feel yourself rising. Choose your circle, choose your influence, choose who has access to your mind. That's not selfish. That's smart. Let's talk about the modern enemy. You're full. You consume. You absorb. But here's the question: what are you feeding your mind? Do you follow pages that inspire or ones that drain? Do you consume content that educates or entertains at the cost of your focus? What you allow in begins to shape what comes out. And some people wonder why they're anxious, distracted, or discouraged. It's simple. They've allowed negativity to rent space in their mind free. Cut it off. Mute it. Unfollow it. Unplug when necessary. Because millionaires don't just train their minds. They protect their minds. Want to think like a millionaire? Build a mental fortress. Have a daily filter. Ask ye, is this thought helping or hurting? Design your environment. Books, podcasts, people, places. Practice stillness, meditation, prayer, reflection. Eliminate gossip, drama, and noise. You don't need more information. You need better input. You need stronger boundaries. Because wealth begins where peace lives. And peace lives in a protected mind. Now listen, we don't pretend the world is perfect. It's not. But here's what millionaires do differently. They use negativity. They don't dwell on it. They learn from it. They rise because of it. Turn criticism into focus. Turn rejection into redirection. Turn setbacks into setups. It's not what happens that determines your life. It's what you do about what happens. That's the mindset. That's the power. So let me ask you, who's standing guard at the door of your mind? Because someone needs to. Someone has to say, no, that thought doesn't belong here. No, I don't accept that limitation. No, I choose to think higher. And that someone is you. You train your mind by what you allow and what you reject. You become strong by what you say no to, not just what you say yes to. Next, we'll dive deep into the next step: programming your mind for long-term thinking. Because millionaires don't think about next week. They think about the next 10 years. We'll talk about vision, patience, and how to delay gratification like the wealthy do. You're doing the work. You're rising. Now let's get to the next level. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. Let's pause on that. 10 years, a decade. Not a quick fix, not an overnight change, but a lifetime of steady progress. Now let me tell you something that millionaires know. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. And that design begins in the mind. But here's the trick: you have to program your mind to see beyond the short term. You have to train your thinking to go farther than the weekend, to go deeper than the next paycheck, to go higher than the next applause. Millionaires think in decades. The unsuccessful think in days. So the question is, which one are you becoming? Let me tell you what most people do. They want results fast. They want transformation now. They want money with no patience. They want fitness with no discipline. They want a dream life with no long-term vision. But you can't microwave success. You build it, one layer at a time. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And you don't build discipline when you're only thinking short-term. Short-term thinkers get excited, then quit. Start strong, then disappear. Look at the clock instead of the calendar. But if you want to live like few do, you have to think like very few ever will. Here's how millionaires do it. They think in decades. They plan in years. They work in months. They act in days. And they master their hours. They're not in a rush. But they're not lazy either. They've trained their minds to delay gratification, to resist the itch for instant success, to trust the process over the hype. So here's a powerful question you should ask yourself every morning. What can I do today that will still matter in 10 years? That question changes everything. It makes you think differently, speak differently, work differently, because suddenly you're building legacy, not just results. Let me teach you something very few understand. A small disciplines repeated with consistency lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. That's the principle of compounding. And it's not just for money. It's for mindset, habits, knowledge, reputation. Think of a tree. You plant the seed, you water it, you protect it. And for a while it looks like nothing is happening. Then one day, that little seed becomes a mighty tree. But if you keep digging up to check if it's growing, you'll kill the seed before it can sprout. That's what most people do with their dreams. They stop. They doubt compare. They quit. Because they're not thinking long term. If you want to think like a millionaire, delete the old programming. I need it now. If it doesn't work in a week, it's not for me. I tried once and it didn't work. Install new programming. I'm playing the long game. Slow success is still success. Every day I show up, I win. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Because every day the world is pushing you toward urgency. Now, fast, quick wins. But your mind needs to rise above the noise and say, nope, I'm not chasing quick. I'm building great. And great takes time. Now let me give you something practical. Sit down. Turn off the noise and write down your 10-year vision. Where do you want to be? What do you want to become? What do you want to have, create, and give? Because if your goals don't stretch your imagination, they won't stretch your effort. And if they don't pull you forward, you'll stay stuck in neutral. The purpose of a goal is not to get it. The purpose of a goal is to become the kind of person who deserves it. That's why long-term thinking works, because it transforms you. Most people don't have a strategy problem. They have a patience problem. They plant seeds and expect fruit the next morning. And when it doesn't happen, they walk away. But you're different, because you're programming your mind to stick with the vision, to believe in the future, to trust the quiet work. Millionaires build empires by doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency over long periods of time. Short-term thinking produces short-term results. Long-term thinking produces lasting transformation. So the question is not, how fast can I succeed? The question is how long am I willing to keep going? Because if you can think in decades, you'll live with purpose. You'll move with power. And you'll build a life that inspires others long after you're gone. Next, we're going to talk about the final piecing, taking massive action with laser focus, because vision without action is just imagination. You've trained the mind. Now it's time to command the body. Ready for the next level. Success is not something you pursue. What you pursue eludes you. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That one sentence holds the secret. People spend their whole lives chasing, running after the promotion, hustling for the money, striving to build the lifestyle. But here's the truth. You don't get rich by pursuit alone. You get rich by preparation, by growth, by becoming someone who naturally attracts success. Success is not about luck. It's not magic. It's not a lottery ticket. It's about building yourself, your habits, your mindset, your character. The question is not, how do I make more money? The better question is, how do I become the kind of person who earns more money? Naturally, consistently, and with integrity. Because when you become more valuable, like you earn more, it's that simple. You want $1 million lifestyle. Start by developing $1 million character. People want to skip this part. They want the rewards without the roots. But let me tell you something. If you get wealth before you're ready for it, it becomes a curse. That's why so many people win the lottery and lose everything in 5 years. Because while their bank account changed, their mindset didn't. Here's what you have to understand, E. If someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly. So you get to keep it. The goal is not the money. The goal is becoming the kind of person who knows what to do with it. The kind of person who can multiply it, who can steward it, who can stay humble and disciplined in the face of it. So the journey to wealth is not just financial. It's deeply personal. Who are you becoming? Most people ask, what do I do to get wealthy? But here's the better question. Who must I become to deserve wealth? That one question can change your life. Let me give you some answers. Become someone who shows up on time every day. Become someone who reads, learns, and applies what they know. Become someone who says no to distraction and yes to discipline. Become someone who works hard in silence and lets their results speak. Become someone who earns trust. Slowly, day by day, you don't get rich by accident. You grow into it. You earn it by becoming the kind of person worthy of wealth. That's the truth. You have an external economy, your job, your income, your savings. But here's something even more important, your internal economy, your mindsets, your attitude, your vision, your emotional control. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and your job will improve. Work harder on your character, and your income will reflect it. Because when you raise your value, the market will reward you. Not immediately, but inevitably. Let me say it clearly. Your income will never exceed your level of personal development. Your wealth can't grow if you don't grow. If your habits stay small, your life stays small. If your thinking stays limited, your future stays limited. You want to change your results? Change your identity. You want to earn like a millionaire? Start thinking like one. Start working like one. Start investing your time, your energy, your resources like one. That's the path. It's not about what you get. It's about what you build, who you become. And here's the amazing part: when you become more valuable, you don't have to chase success. Success comes looking for you. The daily habits of worthy people. Want to become the person who deserves wealth? Then install the habits of the wealthy. Here's a simple framework: wake up early, not to scroll, not to rush, but to prepare, reflect, read, plan your day, center your mind, feed your mind daily, read 10 pages of a good book every day. That's 650 pages a year. That's more than most people will read in a decade. Surround yourself with people who stretch you, not shrink you. People who challenge you, not coddle you. Wealthy people don't guess, they measure. They track goals, review results, adjust with clarity. No matter how far you go, never forget where you started. Gratitude attracts abundance. Arrogance repels it. These aren't secrets. They're just disciplines. But the question is, will you do them? Because discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. People chase more money, more time, more things. But remember, don't ask for things to be easier. Ask to be better. Ask to be more consistent. More valuable. Because when you grow, everything changes. Your mindset changes. Your opportunities change. Your income changes. But first, You must change. Let me close with this. Stop asking, when will I have wealth? And start asking, when will I deserve wealth? That's the better path. You don't get rich by luck. You don't stay rich by accident. You get rich and stay rich by becoming the person who can handle it. So grow, develop, stretch yourself. Success is not something you get. It's something you become worthy of. And once you do, wealth will find you, not because you're chasing it, because you finally became the person it's been waiting for.